The price of the Switch 2 is crazy and somewhat affordable, well, if you're a gamer. Now, some places around the world, mostly in Europe, are taking pre-orders for the system right now, although, you know, that's probably going to be hard to do. You're going to have to fight people for it. And also, keep in mind, there's no SKU available for the system just yet. And it's not like places like Best Buy and Walmart and game stores and even some mom and pop stores are taking pre-orders. Not even Amazon is taking pre-orders. But some places in Italy are actually taking pre-orders for the system, and they've concluded that the price is going to be around like £360, which I think is around 380 US dollars, give or take, maybe 389. Not really big on, you know, how European currency works. But this actually places the Nintendo Switch 2 in a very interesting category. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Kwing, one of the co-hosts of Kwings Let's Plays, and today we're talking about the Switch 2's upcoming price reveal. With the Nintendo Direct being April for the Switch 2 and a rumored Nintendo Direct for the Switch 1 being sometime in mid-February, things are going crazy in the game industry. Whenever a new game system is around the horizon, this is the fun time to be a game journalist because it's just fun to speculate and get all the different rumors and leaks and combine them all together and try to figure out if this is where they're going or if they're going to throw you a curveball when they actually do their press event in April. It's just so fun. But anyway, let's get into this. So, if you didn't know this or not, and maybe you completely forgotten, but when the Wii U released for the first time, it was actually around $299. With taxes, came out to around $310, $312, depending where you were, and once you added games, you probably look around $350. Okay? The Wii, which released in November 19th of 2006, released at a price point that was very affordable at $249.99 USD. And you're like, okay, well, that makes sense, but what about the Nintendo Switch? Now, the Nintendo Switch actually released at the same price as the Wii U. So March of 2017, the Switch cost $300, so that was like $310 plus tax, $299. But you have to remember, by that point, the Wii U was around $149, $139, and they had different variations of the Wii U. So the Switch was definitely like the next big thing. And most people are like, well, you know, $300, that makes sense. Well, what if I were to tell you that the Switch 2 is actually going to be $400? I know, but just hold on. Just know that we do have inflation right now, and the economy is not the greatest. But $400 for a brand new system that's comparable and maybe a little bit stronger than a PS4 Pro is not a bad deal. It's right around the price competitively for a Steam Deck, but Steam Deck is a little bit more at $499, if I'm not mistaken, especially for the newer Steam Decks. So $399 for the Nintendo Switch 2 is pretty good. Now, we still have no idea what to expect from the specs of the system, and everyone is waiting with bated breath for April when Nintendo's going to reveal what in the world is going on with the Switch 2. What in the world do those little mouse thingies with the Joy-Con? Is this thing going to break because of the way it clicks into the system? Nobody knows! What's going on with Mario Kart, and why on earth did you ruin Donkey Kong? These are the questions that the internet has, and there's no answers right now. But the price that people are freaking out about, for one, is not confirmed yet. And even if it is $400, again, you have to look at where we are in the world. Things are crazy. There's rumors of games now probably going to try to cost around $100. And I don't know, fam, but I would be like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with last year's releases because I'm not paying $100 for a new game. Like, I did that nonsense in the 90s, and I ain't doing that again. And when I mean, like, cartridges were super expensive for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. It wasn't until around the time that the N64 released that we had known as Player's Choice, which you took very expensive N64 games, and Nintendo made them $49.99. So that meant you could have gotten Mario Kart 64, Mario 64, and Star Fox all around, you know, a $49 price point with the Player's Choice or Player Select, whatever they called it. And then the regular retail games was still $79.99. Oof. Still, I've seen several people online freaking out over the price of the Switch 2. And again, it's not confirmed yet. But I think that Nintendo, based on the type of hardware we're getting, that seems to be the more logical conclusion. That yes, $399 will be what the Switch costs, the Switch 2. And I think that's fine. And then probably around retail of Christmas. If the system comes out in the summer, you might be looking at a smaller price point, or who knows? You know, Nintendo likes to throw things on sale every once in a while. Usually 6 months after the system comes out, they drop the price a little bit. Look at Wii U, look at Wii, you know, look at the Switch. All those systems had different price changes. And also there were variations of the Switch. You had the Switch Lite, you had the Switch OLED. You know, the price would vary depending on what type of stuff they did. But just rest assured, you don't have to worry about the pre-orders yet, because unless you live in Italy, you're fine. And no giant retailers actually have the system available. What's probably going to happen come April, when the Nintendo Switch 2 has its big press thing, and it's a Nintendo Direct, then yes, you're going to have to rush to retailer and, you know, try to pre-order the system as quickly as you can and hope for the best. Because, I mean, I think that the Switch 2 is going to be a pretty hot commodity. But everyone right now is just kind of speculating, like, where are we going from here? What is the price going to be? And it's always fun to do these kind of videos because, you know, I think, just based on how the market is, based on my knowledge of the game industry, and just how Nintendo operates and the economy and all that other stuff, I think $399 for the Nintendo Switch is actually spot on. So with tax, you're probably looking at $420. I don't think any more than that. And I think the games are going to be around the cost of what Switch games are right now, which is about $59, $69, $99. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do about that. But remember, you get a lot of cool stuff for the Switch 1 into your Switch 2 somehow. The Nintendo Online service with NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega Genesis, all that stuff is going to work day one on your Switch 2. All your Switch games, except for like a small minority of weird gimmicky games, are going to work day one on the Switch 2. Plus, you'll have the ability to play Switch 2 games, you know, which you won't be able to play on Switch 1. So don't even try to do that. That'll be a disaster, trust me on that. So, you know, you're going to have content, which is exactly what you want. We don't know what all the bells and whistles on the system are. We don't know, you know, what type of graphical specs or even hardware that it's going to have, but the fact that people are saying that it is, in comparison to a PS4 Pro and maybe a little bit stronger, has a lot of game developers actually very excited, because bringing a system on the go like that is essentially like having a cheaper version of a Steam Deck in the palm of your hand. So you can definitely expect things like Monster Hunter Wilds and maybe even Elden Ring. You know, the rumors that those games are still coming is, you know, through the roof. And some people are still saying that whole Resident Evil 4 thing, and based on Capcom's relationship with Nintendo, I could see them trying to do that. RE4 was a pretty good remake, and of course, everyone's going to be playing Monster Hunter Wilds next month, so Nintendo Switch is going to want to have that, Switch 2 is going to want to have that as a launch title. But I just want to go over some stuff about the Nintendo Direct. So the Nintendo Direct, what you're going to expect is we're going to get an official release date, which will probably be summer of 2025. That would be, you know, right around where I think they would. Probably June, May or June of 2025 is when the system will come out, which is going to be a shorter time frame for you guys to pre-order the system. So you'll have the Nintendo Direct will happen in April. They're going to announce the price right away. They're going to announce some of the games. Not a lot, because remember, Nintendo likes to sprinkle a lot of Nintendo Directs throughout the year. So they're going to have like a mini showcase of probably maybe like 12 games or something like that. And they'll also add some Switch stuff in there as well. But I really do believe there's going to be a Nintendo Direct in February discussing the remainder of the Switch 1, you know, games coming out this year, because there's really not a lot of information about Switch 1 games still. Like, if you go to your Nintendo system and you look at the coming soon, there's barely anything outside of like January and some to-be-announced dates for Metroid Prime and stuff like that. So, you know, if this is Switch's last year, which it is, because it's going to turn into the Switch 2, they really need to tell people what software they have to look forward to, because not everyone's going to be able to upgrade to the Switch 2. Crazy gamers like myself who need that new technology, yeah, totally. As a content creator, I'm going to do everything I can to get that system, whether I have to fight an angry mob or not. But for most consumers, you know, that $400 price point might be a little kind of like, eh. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, Nintendo is usually a company that tries to be very affordable for the family. And based on everything that's going on with prices and inflation and stuff like that, I think that you don't have to worry about the system being any more than $400. But anyway, now I want to hear from all of you guys and gals. How do you feel about the Switch 2's crazy price? You think that's spot on? You think I'm a little bit off and it'll be like more like $349? Or do you think that the $400 price point is right around the area where the Switch 2 will release? Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click the short in the description to help support that. YouTube is doing all kinds of weird shenanigans, and they're not giving notifications for our YouTube Shorts anymore. Also, I'll see you guys live later tonight with more of Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, the glitch game on Nintendo Switch, and of course, more of Wuthering Waves. Until then, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys with more Nintendo news later this week as some other big stuff is happening. Peace!